You have to make sure that... So if you want to read the back.
I can't even see that.
It's in German.
I can see Lost Cities.
And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Best of Two review. I'm David Bray. I'm here with my favorite board gamer, my wife, Alyssa Bray.
Hello.
And in this series of videos, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at games that are best played with two players or only for two players, because those are primarily the games we play the most. Mm-hmm. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the game Lost Cities from Cosmos Games. This is designed by Reiner Knizia. I love the Vanna White. Very nice. It only takes about half an hour to play, and it's actually kind of hard to explain simply because it's so easy. Just as a point of reference, we bought the game in German because it didn't really matter what the rules said because it's that simple. If you can find them online, and we'll explain it here in just a few minutes, and then we'll kind of give you our review. Mm-hmm. So it's a card game, and essentially what it is, it's a deck of cards, and they're numbered from 2 to 10. There's 5 different types of cards. There's different colors: red, blue, green, white, and yellow. And yellow, yeah. And they're numbered from 2 to 10. Mm-hmm. And essentially what you're going to be doing is going out on these expeditions, and how you do that and how you gather points is by playing cards on your turn. And those cards numbered 2 to 10. Now, there's a trick about how you play them, right?
To build your expedition, you play a card each turn. Right.
And the cards have to be in ascending order. So you can't go... If you lay down a 5, you can only lay down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't go backwards.
Right.
So there's a little bit of trick about that because there's some... risk in laying down a bigger card because you don't know if you might get some smaller cards later on.
Because once you put down you block yourself.
Yeah, and the real great part about this game is there's a lot of risk involved. Each of those lines or rows of expeditions, if you decide to go on an expedition of that color, mm-hmm. you immediately take a negative 20 debt, I guess is the way you can look at it, and then you have to try to get up to 20 points before you start gaining points. So It's one of those things like you start the game with, let's say, a 6 and a 10. Well, that's only technically 16 points and you're starting out at negative 20, but maybe you'll get some more.
But odds are you're going to get one more card that's 4 or higher.
Right. Now, another great part about this game is you will on your turn, you're going to do 2 things. You're going to essentially take a card from your hand and either play it in front of you, or you're going to put it on this middle table, this middle board, where you're going to discard it. Mm-hmm. And if you discard it, then that top card is available to your opponent, which might help them, right? Let's say you need red cards, and I don't really have any good red cards, so I put it in the discard. I'm not interested in going on the red expedition. Mm-hmm. I've now helped you.
Possibly.
And that's probably the most... frustrating yet fun part of this game.
To help your spouse win is the most frustrating thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's also, tell them about the handshake cards. So in addition to 2 to 10 cards, what are those?
So you have your 2 through 10 colored cards in the 5 different colors, but you also get handshakes for each color. And there's 3 handshakes per color. Right. And essentially they're, I guess, bonuses for each color. Multipliers.
Yeah.
Would be the better word for it.
And you have to play them before you play any number cards.
Yeah, so I look at them like they're the equivalent of a 1.
Right, because it's 2 to 10.
Right.
So if you play it in the beginning, what you've done is multiplied your expedition, your overall points by, if you play one of the 3, it's times 2. If you play 2, it's times 3, and the third one is times 4.
Essentially, if you put a handshake down, you're saying, I'm confident in the colors that I have, and I can put down enough cards.
Right, because because you could, let's say you scored a total of, let's say, 25 points, and you did a multiplier of 2, you now have 50 points.
Right.
So, but the problem is if you place those handshakes, which I always do because I don't know.
He's handshake happy.
is that they actually will multiply your negative. Remember I told you start with negative 20, so if you put a handshake down, you're at negative 40. So again, like Alyssa said, you have to be really confident that you're going to get above the threshold to get yourself some points.
And the second he puts a handshake down, I'm not putting those colored numbers down for him. I'm going to hold, even if it messes me up, I'm going to hold on to those for dear life.
And that's the great part of the game is that push-pull mechanic of, I think they need this card, and I don't want to help the other person. So it's a really simple game. So I think we've done a good explanation. Oh, one last thing. Once the last card is drawn from the deck of cards, the draw deck, that immediately triggers the end of the game, and then you count up the points. So again, it's a very simple game. The artwork is actually really nice on it, but I think we do our review now, right? Yeah. Right, so hands out. Okay, remember, thumbs up is a great game, thumbs to the side is a good game, and thumbs down is a bad game.
Gotcha.
So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow! I'm actually... Okay, hold on. I was expecting a thumbs up from her.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta explain to me why this isn't a thumbs up game. I thought you loved this game.
I think because it's one of the most frustrating games we play.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating, but it is a good game.
Right.
But I hold the thumbs up, very high. So it's not one that I want to play all the time.
Right.
It is a good game, but it also is a frustrating game. I don't know. And it's also, I think you have so much control of how well I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you, like I said, I do it to him, you can withhold cards.
Right.
And it essentially blocks you. From winning.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you are inevitably, to help yourself, you're going to probably have to help the other person. So it's kind of this minimizing of trying to help them as little as possible.
I've watched, because we've played this a lot.
Yeah.
The times I do the best is when I don't worry about what he's doing. I just worry about my side. I'm not trying to actively block him, because then I get wrapped up in that, and then everything goes out the door for me.
For me, this is definitely a thumbs up. This is a fantastic game. Now, I think the reason that I like this game so much is actually because of how simple it is. It's one of those few games that is easy to learn, but really is difficult. I guess there probably is a way to master it, but it's just, you can get, this game can become very thinky, right?
I don't know if it's mastering, because, you literally are at the whims of what you draw.
Yeah, but you can minimize, I think, some of that luck. But like I said, I think what's cool about this game is that it's not, visually it looks very nice, but it's not this, table monster. When people walk up and they see this game, they're like, oh, I'm willing to try out this game.
I think it's an icebreaker. I think it's a quick game for anybody. It's to teach them really quick. It gets a game night going.
Yeah,
People that don't like games that much would love to start playing it. So it is a good game in that aspect.
Yeah, and the price on this game is very affordable. I want to say it's probably less, $20 or maybe even less, because really it's a deck of cards and a small board.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can play it over and over and over. It does technically sometimes. Like we always talk about, it's a lot of two-player games start to get old really quick because they're kind of the same thing over and over. And although this has a very similar mechanic, it is really different every single time because of that mechanic of do I discard a card and potentially help the other opponent, or do I just focus on what I'm doing and don't worry about blocking the other person? Yeah. So you really can have different strategies and still actually win the game. So for me, it's definitely a thumbs up. I love this game. Definitely recommend it. From Melissa, it's maybe check it out. Maybe you'll like it. But anything else?
Remember when we were at a board game cafe the other night? Some other guys were playing it.
That's right.
And we were, they were asking us how to play, and they were having a hard time with how to add up all the rows, the expeditions at the end of the game, like the multipliers and whatnot. Come to find out, someone told us that there's an app you can actually download to help you score it.
Yes, there's an app for that.
Yes. And you downloaded it and used it. Did you feel it helped?
Yes, I think it does, because you've got this, you start off with negative, and then you add, and then you've got to multiply. That's why we have calculators. But this actually makes it really easy to add and get all of your points in. Also, there is a iOS version of this game, which I definitely recommend. It's only like $2. You can play online, you can play against friends. They have different challenges. You play different people. It has increase in ramp and difficulty.
And they say the best way, you can't just play one single and done game, but they say also you could play 3 in a row and add the score up, and the best score wins. Because
sometimes you just get a bad draw and there's no way to do anything about it. So if you play over the course of 3 games and add up the score, and then that's the best way to find it out. So definitely check out Lost Cities. I think it's a great game. Till next time, bye.
Later.